This week, we are focusing on common misspelled words and challenging vocabularies to help students improve their reading and writing skills. Word number 1 is pallid. When a person is described as having a pallid face, it means they look pale due to poor health. For example, the girl's skin is clammy and her face is pallid when she suffers from a high fever. You can also describe clouds as pallid. For example, the winter morning was frosty and we could see our breath turn into pallid clouds in the air as we exhaled. Don't forget the double L in pallid. Word number 2 is canter. The verb canter means moving at a pace of a horse but slower than the gallop. For example, the horses canter across the grassland before stopping at the lake to drink water. Word number 3 is apprentice. An apprentice is a trainee or a beginner. For example, the boy has been an apprentice at the local hardware shop for a year and he did not have much experience. Don't forget the double P in apprentice. The word apprentice ends with the word ice. Word number 4 is acquire. To acquire something means to buy or get it. For example, the wealthy man hopes to acquire the biggest diamond in the world. Don't forget the letter C in acquire. Word number 5 is virtual. The adjective virtual means almost or nearly look the same. For example, because of advanced technology, people can experience the virtual reality of being swooped close by a black hole and experience the time and space warping effects of the immense pool. Word number 6 is sufficient. The adjective sufficient means enough. For example, you need to drink sufficient amount of water every day in order to be hydrated. Don't forget the letter C in sufficient. Word number 7 is spontaneous. The adjective spontaneous means doing things naturally without careful planning. It is another word for impulsive. For example, the backpacker planned a spontaneous trip without any careful thoughts. Break the word up to help you remember the spelling. Spontaneous. Word number 8 is sophisticated. The adjective sophisticated has two meanings. Firstly, the word sophisticated means elegant or classy, which relates to fashion or culture. For example, this is such a sophisticated glazed flower vase as it has a beautiful coating with unique floral patterns. You can also describe a person's clothing as sophisticated. For example, the princess looks so sophisticated in her evening dress. Secondly, the word sophisticated means complicated and it often relates to machinery. For example, our satellite and control systems are extremely sophisticated as they control the spacecraft systems, robotic systems, and mission operation. Do not spell sophisticated as SOFISTICATED. There is no letter F in sophisticated. Word number 9 is cluster. The word cluster means a group of similar things or people who are positioned closely together. It can be used both as a noun or as a verb. For example, at night, you can see clusters of stars in our galaxy. You can also say there are clusters of creamy white flowers in the garden. In this context, cluster is used as a noun. As a verb, cluster means grouping or together. For example, the children clustered around Santa Claus to collect their Christmas presents. Word number 10 is plankton. Plankton are the small plant and animal organisms that float or drift in sea or fresh water. For example, planktons, the living organisms in the oceans, need to be protected from environmental pollution because they help maintain the oxygen level on Earth. Word number 11 is peninsula. A peninsula is a long piece of land sticking out into the sea. For example, the man walked across the narrow peninsula to the southern shore. Word number 12 is archipelago. An archipelago is an island group or island chain. For example, Indonesia, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, New Zealand, Hawaii are few examples of well-known archipelagos. Break the word up to help you remember the spelling. Arch, I, pe, la, go. Word number 13 is courgette. Another name for zucchini is courgette. For example, the students were not aware that courgette is another name for the zucchini. Word number 14 is inevitable. The adjective inevitable means unavoidable. For example, the changing of the 4 seasons every year is an inevitable aspect of the Earth climate. Word number 15 is abalone. An abalone is a type of shellfish that can be eaten. It is an expensive seafood. For example, abalone are considered a delicacy in many seafood restaurants. Chinese, in particular, loves eating abalone. Do not pronounce this word as abalone. Word number 16 is caricature. A caricature is a picture that are drawn in an exaggerated way to create a comic effect. For example, artists often include caricature of politicians in newspaper articles. Break the word up to help you remember the spelling. Caricature. Word number 17 is hippocampus. Hippocampus is a small organ within the brain. For example, the hippocampus is a part of the brain associated with memory. Break the word up to help you remember the spelling. Hippocampus. Word number 18 is avaricious. The adjective avaricious means greedy for money. For example, the avaricious banker took the poor's money so he can become extra rich. Break the word up to help you remember the spelling. Avaricious. Word number 19 is tyrannosaurus. A tyrannosaurus is a meat-eating dinosaur which walked upright on its powerful back limbs. For example, the tyrannosaurus was probably the most vicious of the dinosaurs. Word number 20 is piquant. The adjective piquant has two meanings. Firstly, the word piquant means exciting. For example, the family was thrilled when they arrived at the piquant Disneyland in Shanghai. Secondly, the word piquant means sharp taste. For example, I've added a piquant sauce to my hamburger so there's more flavor. This brings to the end of our spelling list 38B. Keep practicing and good luck in your spelling test.